Basically, it's about the sulfur content and the viscosity. If you go back to our earlier conversations, I was explaining Nigeria's tale of woes. They're a country that was sending sort of 1.3 million barrels a day to the States, now pretty much sends next to nothing. And if you look at this shale revolution, why are the Nigerians and the Angolans suffering? They are suffering because their particular variety of crude oil is very close to US light, i.e. the sulfur content in terms of what the refiners need stateside. The composition, the sulfur content, the viscosity of Nigerian and Angolan crude is very similar to what tight oil and shale oil players are producing in the States. So the Nigerian demand has just been constantly declining to a point of zero. Now, the Saudis still send crude oil to the US. At one point in time, they around 2002, 2003, they used to export about 30% of Saudi exports used to go to the US. Now it's down to about 18%, and it's been around 18% for a couple of fiscal years, 18 to 20, 21, then coming back down to 18. And the reason for that is that the Saudi crude is, to use your latter expression, of a slightly heavier variety. So there are different kinds of refiners who need different varieties of crude, and the Saudis still find a market with the heavier ones, whereas the Nigerians and Angolans, whose crude oil was very similar to bulk of the US produce, are in trouble. So it all boils down to the sulfur content and the viscosity, and it might or it might not surprise you to learn that there are over 100 plus varieties of crude oils, each with their different levels of sulfur content in terms of viscosity. I think the most fascinating crude oil that I have seen in sort of 11 years of analysis was something that I spotted in Oman, where the crude oil was so pure that it really needed next to negligible refining for you to use it as a fuel medium. And that's fascinating. The Omanis are not, well, they used to be heavyweights in the 60s and the 70s, but they're no longer heavyweights in the oil and gas business, but their crude is, how shall I say, to use the expression, the sweetest variety.